Auzubillahiminashaitanirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today we will take up states of viriods. We have discussed in the previous lecture states of viruses. Today we will take up viriods. These viriods, the term virioid, it has more recently been used by T.O. Diener. And the term virioid was discovered by T.O. Diener in 1971. It was discovered by T.O. Diener in 1961, and these viruses, these are the infectious agents. These are the infectious agents which are smaller than viruses, and the causal agent of potato spindle tuber disease, PSTD, potato spindle tuber disease. And the term virioid, it was given by T.O. Diener to the infectious agents which are smaller than viruses and are the causal agents of the potato spindle tuber disease. Let me repeat. The term virioid, it was more recently used by T.O. Diener in 1971 to the infectious agents which are smaller than viruses and are the causal agents of potato spindle tuber disease. And these infectious agents, these are defined as the smallest infectious agents, smaller than viruses. These are the smallest infectious agents, smaller than viruses. They are even smaller than viruses and consists of entirely small single-stranded RNA, without a protein coat. And what actually these virioids are? These are the smallest infectious agents, smaller than viruses, and they consist of entirely small single-stranded RNA without a protein coat. And generally we have seen viruses have a protein coat which we call as capsid, but in case of virioids, we have a naked single-stranded RNA molecule which is without a protein coat. Some virioids contain a single stranded circular RNA molecule, while others contain a single-stranded linear RNA molecule. And some contain a single-stranded circular RNA molecule like the prokaryotes, while other virioids contain a single-stranded linear RNA molecule. The RNA of the virioids, the RNA of the virioids was of low molecular weight than the normal RNA which we find in other plants, other organisms. The RNA of virioids was of low molecular weight than the RNA of other organisms. All the virioids discovered so far, all the virioids discovered so far have been isolated from plants, in which they can replicate and cause characteristic disease symptoms And what we can say, all the virioids discovered so far have been isolated only from plants in which they replicate. In these plants where they occur, they replicate and cause characteristic disease symptoms. They cause specific and characteristic disease symptoms. Although virioids have not been discovered from animals or humans till date, but there are speculations. Although these virioids, they have not been discovered from animals and human beings, and so far all the virioids have been discovered from plants only, and there have been no reports of virioids in animals and human beings. But there are speculations that they may occur in animals and human cells also. And although they have not been reported from animals and human beings so far, but it has been given a speculation. There is a speculation that they may occur in animals and human cells also. This is virioids. Let me repeat. The term virioid, it was more recently used by Theodiner in 1971. What are these virioids? These are the infectious agents which are smaller than viruses and are the causal agent of potato spindle tuber disease. These are the causal agents of potato spindle tuber disease, and this term was given by Theodiner. These are the infectious agents which are smaller than viruses and are the causal agents of potato spindle tuber disease. These virioids, they are defined as the smallest infectious agents, smaller than viruses, and consists of entirely small stranded RNA without a protein coat. And these virioids, these are the smallest infectious agents, smaller than viruses, and consists of entirely small single-stranded RNA without a protein coat. Some virioids contain a single-stranded circular RNA molecule, while others contain a single-stranded linear RNA molecule. And some virioids contain a single-stranded circular RNA molecule, while others contain a single-stranded linear RNA molecule. The RNA of the virioids was of low molecular weight, and the RNA of these virioids, it is of low molecular weight than other organisms. All the virioids discovered so far have been isolated from plants in which they replicate and cause characteristic disease symptoms. Although virioids have not been discovered from animals and human beings, but there are speculations that they may occur in animals and human beings also. This is all for today. Thank you. Assalam.